person who will work tirelessly to end all wars our nation is fighting, to end the incarceration of the countless innocents in our prison system that fall through the cracks due to their race, national origin, and economic standing, to end the countless infringements that impede the voluntary solutions that plague our everyday lives. The end-all, the be-all, our next Vice President of the United States, Mike Cohen!
The end-all and be-all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. North Carolina! I am so freaking happy to be back in the Yep. I'm keeping my shirt on though. I am so happy to be back in the South and specifically in the Carolinas. Thank you all so much for coming out here to come and see me. Who's ready to take the power back? Who is ready to end this crony system that robs us for the direct benefit of billionaires and sticks us with the bill for it? Who here is ready to go into our neighborhoods and communities and tell people that there's another choice besides those two morons that took part in arguing over which one was the biggest schmuck in that debate? Who here is ready to live a freer and happier and safer and healthier life and to build a better community? Not yet. And to build a better community for ourselves, our children, their children, and their children. Now you clap. Folks, that's why Joe and I are running. That's why we're running for president and vice president. That's why, this is great, that's why I got a chart here so we can remember who was talking. That's why Steve's running for governor. That's why Shannon's running for Senate. That's why Sean's running for State House, I believe. That is why we have libertarians running up and down the ballot, because we know that the only way we're going to live the life that we want to live, the only way that we're going to fix the problems that we face is when we take the power back from those pandering, craven politicians and the billionaires who put them in office and put it back in your hands where it always belonged. Folks, who here is sick and tired of watching their loved ones, their neighbors, maybe even yourselves, sign up and swear to protect and defend the Constitution and the American people from all enemies, foreign and domestic, only to be sent overseas by those domestic enemies to fight and kill and possibly die for the benefit of military contractors and central bankers and foreign dictators and who else? And drug cartels and politicians and drug cartels. Who is sick of that? And who here is sick of when those who are fortunate enough not to come home in a flag-draped casket and who are subjected to PTSD and traumatic brain injuries and other health issues are subjected to the worst form of healthcare in this country, the VA? Who here is sick and tired of watching the cost of living, everything from healthcare to housing, to higher education and everything in between, spiraling out of control because of terrible Republican policies? Who here is sick and tired of watching entire industries flee, not just here in North Carolina, but around the country, or go out of business because of disastrous Republican economic policies? Who here is sick and tired of watching entire communities being destroyed by this failed war on drugs and watching an increasing number of people being brutalized by an increasingly unaccountable and militarized police state? And who here is sick of that same militarized police state telling you what weapons you should be allowed to own to protect yourselves and your loved ones and your communities and your country while they go and buy whatever they damn well please and stick you with the bill for it? And who here is sick of being told whether or not you're essential, whether or not you should be allowed to go outside, whether or not you should be able to work to provide for your family, whether or not you should be allowed to operate your small business, whether or not you should be allowed to go to your house of worship or go and visit your loved ones? and be told that you have to stay inside until further notice, and you're handed $1,200 while billionaire cronies are given trillions of dollars to make sure their bottom line wasn't affected one bit during this massive recession, and you get stuck with the bill with that, with interest. Who here is sick and tired of living under this Republicrat system? That's why we're running. That's why, I'm going to read it off. That's why Shannon's running. That's why Jeff's running. That's why Steven's running, and Kat and Travis and Adrian and Sammy and Michael. Man, this is a great chart. And Michael, both Michaels, and Dee and Guy and Richard, Liam, Bruce, Justin, Jason, and everyone else running as Libertarians up and down the ballot in all 50 states plus DC. That is why we are running. We're not just running to tell Americans that they have another politician they can vote for. We're not just running so that we can tell American voters that they have another political party they can vote for. We're running to end the Fed, and to end the ATF, and to end the IRS, and to end the DEA, and to end the war on drugs, and to end police brutality, and to end the wars overseas, and to put the power back in your hands where it always belongs. We're also going to end the ABC. I know we're out of the distillery. That's why we are running, to take the power back, because that's how we will be free, that is how we will be safe and healthy and happy, and that is why we are libertarians, and that's why we're voting for Joe Jorgensen. So let's be very clear. The outcomes that we are facing right now are not unintentional. They are not unintended outcomes that we couldn't have possibly known were going to happen. We've been saying that they were going to happen in the 49 years that this party has existed. They knew that it would happen, and they wanted it to happen. They did it anyway because they want you to be anxious. They want you to be scared. They want you to be desperate. They want you not to know how you're going to be able to make ends meet. They want you to wonder if you're even going to be able to pay your rent or your mortgage or your car note. They want you to be resentful and scared and angry and desperate and hopeless. They want to break your spirit. Because if they can make you hopeless, and if they can make your spirit broken, it's that much easier to convince you that all you need to do is give them the rest of your money and your power. All you need to do is let them take total control of every aspect of your life, and then you'll be safe. Then you'll be healthy. Then you'll be just fine. Then you won't have a single thing to worry about. Well, folks, we know that the last people that we can trust to get us out of this mess are the people who put us in it for the specific purpose of taking control from you and making your life harder. That is why we are not Republicans or Democrats. That is why we are libertarians, and that is why we are demanding our power back. Now, before I talk about my amazing running mate, let me take a moment to talk about those two fools that you saw on the debate stage there. By the way, shout out to my opponents for making our job a lot easier. Someone recently asked me, actually a few people recently asked me, Spike, who do you think won the debate? And I said, we did. And when I said we, I didn't mean Joe and me, although we definitely won that debate. I meant y'all that have been going around sometimes exasperatedly telling your loved ones that there was no real difference between Republicans and Democrats, that they were all a bunch of clowns, that they're all just making this work, that they're working together every single day, that the only time they ever say anything true is when they're talking about how terrible the other guy is. That was the only time they said anything of any value up there. When Donald Trump would say how terrible Joe Biden was, he was pitch perfect. And when Joe Biden was saying how terrible Trump was, he was dead on accurate. It was downhill from there. Let's talk about Joe Biden. Oh, you've heard of him.
Sorry, was I chuckling too loud on that?
Name a policy you hate. The war on drugs, endless wars overseas, Obamacare, spiraling cost of healthcare, spiraling cost of everything, civil asset forfeiture.
Second Amendment.
Immunity.
Qualified immunity. No-knock raids.
Crime bill.
The 1994 crime bill, which led to more African Americans being put in cages than during slavery. He was the architect of these things. Joe Biden is, I'm sorry.
Taking credit for LGBTQ rights.
Taking credit for LGBTQ rights. Joe Biden is the architect of every bad thing to come out of Washington, D.C. in the nearly 50 years he has been there when he's not busy sniffing children. Joe Biden is the architect of what we are facing, and how fitting that the architect of the militarized police state would pick for his running mate one of its most brutal enforcers. Let's talk for a minute about Kamala Harris.
Crooked cop.
Kamala Harris, you said it. Kamala Harris has the distinction of putting more people away in prison for victimless crimes than any other person alive. Kamala Harris, who at least twice that we know of, intentionally withheld exculpatory evidence in a capital murder case.
No integrity.
Let me say that again. There were at least 2 times that we know of where there was a black man in court that she was trying to have executed, and she had evidence in her office that demonstrated they didn't do it. And not only did she not refuse to prosecute him and ask for the charges to be dropped, she withheld the evidence even after the courts ordered her to release all evidence they had. Why did she do that? Well, first of all, because she didn't care about them. But the reason she didn't do that was because she didn't want her conviction rate to go down. This is who the Democrats have asked you to waste your vote for and to throw your vote away for. These are the people that sneer at their supporters and say Black Lives Matter, and then turn around and create the conditions that led to their anger in the first place, that led to the protesting in the first place. This is who they're asking you to waste your vote for. Now let's talk about the other wing of that plane crash. Let's talk for a moment about Donald Trump. Oh wow, you've heard of him too. Donald, you said that. Donald Trump, lifelong crony, a man who has used the power of government to harm everyone around him for his direct profit. Whether we're talking about using eminent domain to force widows to sell their properties to him to build his next failing casino project, and when that casino project failed, using the bankruptcy courts to make sure that as much of the losses could be unloaded on his poor investors so he could walk away with as much of the profit as possible. Donald Trump, who said that he would drain the swamp only to become the king of the swamp creatures. He said that he would cut spending, and instead he has spent more money in one term than any president before him was able to spend even in 2 terms. This year, we have been told that the federal government has already spent $6.6 trillion, nearly twice as much, nearly twice as much as any president before him has spent a single year, and it's October. We know that more is going to get spent between now. He said that he would end the national debt, not just lower it, he'd end the national debt, and instead he has run up more debt in one term. Again, he has run up more debt than any president before him.
I don't think he knows what that word means.
He may not.
That doesn't mean what he thinks it
That's
means.
very possible. He said that he would end the wars overseas, and instead there are 15,000 more troops overseas right now than there were when he got into office. He said that he would protect our right to keep and bear arms. And instead he, with the blessing of the NRA, has passed more gun control regulations and executive orders, and has encouraged more red flag laws at the state level, which has led to the death of people like Duncan Lemp and others, than the last 5 presidents before him. And I would be remiss not to mention his running mate. Let me talk as much about Mike Pence as he has demonstrated relevance during this administration. I forgot what I was talking about. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That never happens. That never happens. That never happens. This is who the Republican Party has asked you to throw your vote away for. These are the people that sneer to their supporters and say, we're going to cut government and return it back to what the founders intended, and instead grow it vastly out of control alongside their friends, the Democrats. Now let's talk about an opportunity not to waste our vote. Let's talk about Dr. Joe Jorgensen. Let's talk about a brilliant, self-made entrepreneur. Let's talk about someone who we don't have to worry about whether or not she's going to pass a cognitive test. I know. It's very sad that that's even something we'd have to say. It is a low hurdle, and we jump it with great gusto. Jo Jorgensen, a woman who has demonstrated that she is ready to lead from day one, not by taking your power from you, not by making your life harder and ruling over you and robbing you, but just the opposite, by putting the power back in your hands, by allowing you to live the life that you want to live, by removing the barriers and burdens that the Republicrats have put in place to make it harder and harder and harder for us, especially the most marginalized among us, giving us our power back. Because Jo, as smart as Jo is, and she is very, very smart, as smart as she is, she knows, I know, and I'm smart too, we know that we could never try to live your life for you better than you can. In no way will we ever know what you need better than you do. In no way will it ever work better for us to control everything and give to you what we think you need instead of putting it back in your hands where it always belonged and letting you forge your own destiny, working together with your loved ones in your communities and growing yourself and thriving and prospering. That's why we're running, and hopefully that's why you're voting for us and everyone else on this thing. Folks, Jo and I are running on a platform of nothing less than setting America free. We are working with the Libertarian Party of North Carolina and the Libertarian Party of Wake County and Durham County and Orange County, and I think I was told the fourth county, I don't remember it at the moment, but every single local and state affiliate across this country, as well as the National Libertarian Party. We are working with you every day to build nothing less than an army of human liberty, fighting for a world set free in our time, and we need your help. That's right. If you have not, you can clap that. If you have not already done so, I ask you to join the Libertarian Party today. Go to lp.org. Do we have sign-up sheets here for Libertarian Party?
Eric?
Go to lp.org and sign up today. It is we just saw the Libertarian Party was the only party during a pandemic that was able to get on all 50 state ballots. That is because we have the grassroots power. We are the only ones that are in the position to fight back against the Republicrat machine. We're the only ones that are in a position to do so. We ask that you join us at the grassroots level because it is at the grassroots level that everything happens. And when you're done with that, I ask you to join the Libertarian Party of North Carolina. I ask you to find out about joining your local affiliate. And if your local area doesn't have one, I ask you to start it. We are the grassroots army. You are the grassroots army. You have the power to fix this. We are working together every day to do that. So folks, when you're done doing that, I ask you to go to Jo20, that's JO20.com, and join us. We have a volunteer form that you can fill out. We would love to have you helping us at the grassroots level as well. We work with the party, state, local, and national every single day. We'd love to have you join us. And we ask that you give what you can, because it is what allows us to do these tours. It is what allows us to go around a country at a time when our opponents are hiding in their bunkers, in their basement, to get away from the wrath of the American people who are fed up with their nonsense. We want to be able to go out there to meet them across this country, and we need your help to be able to do so, because folks, unlike our opponents, we don't rob you to pay for our campaigns. You may not know this, but they get something called federal matching funds, which is a really nice way of saying that they rob you with income taxes, because all taxation is theft. I know how to do an applause line. I know how to work a crowd. They rob you to help pay for their campaigns. Hundreds of millions of dollars they get to fund their campaigns, because we already knew that they thought they were entitled to your support and your vote. Turns out, surprise, surprise, they think they're entitled to your money too. We already knew that too. That's right, boo. They already knew that, they already thought that they were entitled to this. Folks, we don't believe that at all. We believe that we have to earn your support. We believe that the reason you're here isn't because you owe it to us. We believe that you're here because we've earned it. And if I have earned it, if I have earned your support, and if I have earned your vote, and if the candidates running up and down the ballot in North Carolina have earned your vote, then we ask you to give what you are comfortably able to give. Let me give you another part of that, why we need the help. The last time I checked, Donald Trump and Joe Biden had received something like just over $250 million in crony corporate funding. Now, I haven't checked today. Last time I checked was yesterday. But as of yesterday, the Jorgensen Cohen campaign has received exactly $0 and 0 cents in crony corporate funding. For two very powerful reasons. Number one, we'd never accept it. Number two, they'd never give it to us because they know that when Joe Jorgensen gets into office, they know that when Steve gets into office, they know that when Shannon and Sean and Liam and everyone else running here get into office, their game is over. They're gonna have to actually provide value if they want to remain rich. There won't be a federal or state trough for them to suck from the teat of the American taxpayer and the American worker anymore. They know that their system of patronage that they have set up to rob you for their direct benefit is over, and they'll have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and live within their means like they've been telling us to do for decades. They know that when we take the power back, that it's all over for them, and that is why they will fight us at every step, and that is why we have to fight back and take the power back. Folks, as I said before, you are the power. And when I say that you are the power, I'm not pandering. I would never pander to such a brilliant, well-educated, smart, salt of the earth, attractive. Have you been working out? Fantastic. I totally see it.
12 ounces at a time.
I see your gains. America, I see your gains. No, I'm not pandering. When I say that you are the power, I mean that you have the power. We have the power working together to fix these problems and to end all of this. And don't take my word for it. They tell you every single day that you have the power. When they beg you to vote for them, when they shame you into voting for them, what they're telling you, listen to what they say. You have to vote for us. This election's far too important not to vote for us. If you don't vote for us, you're gonna destroy everything we've built. Yeah, that's the point. We don't like what you built. We don't like what they've built, and we are going to destroy it. We're not here to reform the Republicrats. We're here to dismantle every oppressive, tyrannical, rights-infringing, theft policy they have put forward, every murderous thing they have done to us and our loved ones and our neighbors and our communities around this country. We're going to put an end to it. You have the power. Working together with everyone here and with everyone else that we can have join us. We have the power to fix this. We have the power to take back the freedom and the money and the power. Now let's go win this thing. Now, folks, before we get started with the Q&A, something terrible happened here, and we have to talk about it because it's not okay. I was over there when I heard us sing Happy Birthday to Terry, and I was told that I would get to take part in that, and then I was possibly systemically denied the ability to be able to take part in that. Where is Terry? Where's Terry? Right. Hi, Terry. I have to do this. And anyone who wants to join me is free to do so. This is actually the official time that we're singing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Terry. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for coming. Happy birthday. I hope that you had a fantastic, you're having a fantastic birthday. Thank you for creating Travis and allowing him to grow into an adult. That was fantastic. Good job there. Thank you so much. So folks, we're going to do a Q&A and be happy to answer a few questions. And then after that, I'll be heading over to the special